First up, we have Ferocity eSports. We got King Leo, Trippin, Santa, Dave, and Moss. I'm not sure if you guys know or not, but Dave and Moss, formerly players of Vision Gaming, if I am correct. Very strong individual players. It's a fairly new roster. They just qualified for the Pro League, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can bring to the table with their experience and their lack of ability to have time to prepare for this. But I'm definitely excited to see them. You have anything that you can touch on about these players?
Um, for Ferocity Esports, there's really one person that kind of stands out as like the impact fragger, I guess like the impact player, sort of say, and that's going to be Mass for me. He's going to be the guy that's really going to be running around, kind of like that quote unquote Ash Jaeger main, but he's the guy that's going to make a lot of the frags, so definitely be able to watch out for him. Uh, Besides that, I don't know too much. I know King Leo, he's definitely pretty good. Not sure who's playing on the support role here on Frosty Esports, but I suspect it's going to be Euro and Santa. So we'll have to exactly see who plays what operator, especially for Ferocity Esports.
All right. And up next, we have their opponents, the home team, Paradox. A fairly young team. Most of these players are underage. JT, I personally know he's a very, very strong fragger. They have a lot of talent on this team. Mayhem, also decently known player. It'll be interesting to see what they can do to bring it together. I do know their roster has been together for a little while now. So we'll see if their ability to be a tighter unit, given more time to plan for this, is going to come into play. I'm not sure if you are too familiar with these guys or not, Talon, but if you are, maybe you could touch on that.
Yeah, so we saw a little bit of these guys in the qualifiers. Especially, I think the impact player here is definitely going to probably be Mayhem. I believe last time we saw him, he was either on a different team or he had a different tag. But anyway, I usually see him, running that bandit, roaming around. He has a pretty good roam game, so we'll have to see if Ferocity is able to, correctly drone out the roamers here, because I totally expect either a one or two roam. Um, so we'll definitely watch out for the drones and see if there's any counterplay on those drones, such as a mute or just really good awareness in terms of where the drones are going to come from and take him out. But I do expect Mayhem to be fragging, and if he isn't fragging, I think it's going to be pretty hard for them to take the victory here.
All right, I do agree. I do distinctively remember, I believe Mayhem was on one of the teams in our first showcase event, and that's where we saw him on the roam playing Bandit. My memory may not be correct, but I'm fairly certain that's where it is. But guess what, Talon? We have all our players in the lobby, and I think we are ready to get this game underway. First week,
All right, let's hit it.
day one, CCS Esports. And I am truly excited to bring this to you guys. Here we go. We are on Oregon, of course, as we said before. Paradox, the attackers. Ferocity Esports on defense with King Leo, Euro, Moss, Trip, and Santa. They're bringing Jaeger, Smoke, and Mira. Mira, of course, I absolutely love on this map, and I love how she's impacted the way that the map itself is played. It allowed for a little bit of different technique as far as holding Laundry and Master go. On the attackers, we have Ash, Blackbeard, Capital, Twitch, and Habana. Very solid lineup, of course. Twitch bringing that counterplay to Mira. Habana used for the hatches. Blackbeard able to peek safely down the stairs. Very excited to see what they have to bring here. Wonder what kind of setup they do. Standard, what do you think the first site will be, Talon?
Oh, well, as you can see, this first site is going to be Laundry Supply. One thing I did want to touch on, though, is that there's a lack of a Thatcher here on the attacking team. They chose and opted instead to go with the Twitch. I don't exactly agree with this, because the way that this mirror is set up is that it's going to be behind like a reinforcement, and there's going to be a mirror on it, and there's only one or two ways you can come. You can come from the back side or you can come from the front side. And if that Twitch drone goes down the front side, you're going to see it coming from a mile away.
Right.
Now, to get in the backside, usually there's a second person in that site they're sitting there watching for those sort of things. So if they just go ahead and put a battery on that mirror wall, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to get that open with the Habana. So a Thatcher is a much, much safer pick here. Yes, the Twitch can work, and yes, there are ways to get it open, but I don't really see it working out, fantastically. Of course, they do have that Capital, so they can, help take out anyone in Laundry. So that they have half of the equation, but we're missing that other half here.
Yeah, I would agree, and a little odd. It's about 15 seconds in. King Leo just got the reinforcement on the left side garage panel inside a meeting. Looks like they're trying to place some sort of meeting hole. They don't have rear stage reinforced. No one in attic. They have left both hatches open inside a meeting. Of course, they did reinforce the hatch in the front lobby. Currently, they're looking to take control of the small tower side. And Cliche on Capital, he's already inside a kitchen with control. King Leo was able to get up inside of the attic. I don't think he was spotted. And the Twitch drone, just like we said, going to come in and freely take out that Mira. Hopefully they can save it from the other one. That's the important one. They do stop the Twitch drone. That's going to be a little easier for them if they choose to have to rotate from the backside. It's just droning out here. Just the way they're holding this is a little interesting. Currently, I'm seeing one roam in meeting and then one kind of on the back tower, but that's really it. Blackbeard does have control of garage. He knows he's there. He just spotted him on the drone. He's going to have to push back so he doesn't get taken down. JT breaking inside of big tower. One on defense, pretty much just holding tight. 130 left. C4 just went up through the hatch to try to get a kill, but it's not going to be successful. They are now one C4 down on Pulse. Right as we peek away, King Leo is able to get the pick onto Blackbeard. But the trade goes back from Bonsai. And right back Cliche. And it looks like Paradox is now in favor 4-3, although Capital is very low at about 5% HP. He still has this fire arrow. They are going to down and pick him up. Bomb is down outside. They're going to have to rotate and pick that up. Pretty much going to see all the action coming from this hatch and the stairs. We only have 35 seconds remaining in this round. Again, the advantage is in favor of Paradox on the attacking team. C4 going out from Santa, and beautiful job. The bomb is now down, only 20 seconds left. They're going to have to get some kills, but they are in prime position to win this round on defense. Smoke grenade gone down. He's able to get the bomb, but the smoke grenade's going to take him out. Bonsai on the backside getting Euro. Tripping, getting the trade onto Cliche. He's going to have to push through. He has the bomb. He's pushing up onto the... actually, he's going to stop and get the plant down right in front of the laundry. And just like that, Santa, beautiful use of the Mira, and he's able to take him down. Round one going over to Ferocity.
Definitely a good round. And again, it really came down to that Mira window being intact. As the attackers, you have to find a way to try to get around that, and you have to find a way to get it open. Because if you don't get it open, they're just going to C4 you, they're just going to smoke you, and you're going to get pre-fired. You honestly, if you do not open that, or if you don't push them out, then what do you expect is going to happen? They had the Capital. Where were the Capital fire arrows? And I don't know where the second Twitch drone is. It probably got taken out. So again, that's where that weakness comes in with that Twitch. If you're going to use the Twitch, you really have to hope that your opponents aren't really looking out for it and are kind of incompetent in that sort of way.
Right.
And I think at the tournament level of play, I don't think you're going to be seeing that as much.
Yeah, I think it has its places. Ultimately, there isn't much that can take the place of a Thatcher. Let's be real honest. You throw one grenade down, you can clear an entire room of all electronic devices. And although it can't get a Mira, that is just sometimes an irreplaceable tool. But here we go. 1-0 in favor of Ferocity, taking the first round. They are now on attack. Paradox on defense. They're going to set up for a meeting hole, and look what they're doing here. They're using the Mira on the kitchen wall in pantry, facing toward the kitchen with a soft wall so they can play it. They have the hatches open for the easy rotate in case they go for a blue construction and see this. They did what the other team didn't do, which is reinforce the rare stage, which is really smart. Super easy for Hambana to put one hole and still have enough to get the rest of her things, and then you eliminate the ability to sit inside of that meeting room.
Yeah, this is a little bit more standard of a meeting hold instead of what we saw last round with just like a regular roam. They're going all out, going ahead and reinforcing. Got the castle, they got everything. I do like this this lineup from the attackers. It's a little bit more standard here. Just the Habana, Thatcher, a little bit of nades, and of course that Capital.
I already have control of the rear tower. They have 3 inside. One was just on drone. He saw the punch hole on the back of tower. They're going to spray back and forth. No one getting any damage down yet. Gonna pop the drone to find a secure location, see exactly where he's at. He now knows he's behind the sandbags, and still gunfire back and forth. Bandit doing a good job eating the time right now. See if she's actually able to get the pick. Looking to get a frag over. Let's see if that one actually hits him. But no, there's an ADS sitting over there, and he gets the pick. Capital not paying attention. He does a quick pick, jiggle peek, and Mayhem, just like we talked about, Talon, getting the first kill on Rome here for this round. Moss does go down in the midst of all that. He was able to push in the rear stage. Going to assume he got down from the hatch by Mayhem, or by Vortex, excuse me, from kitchen side. Down on rear stage, and JT's down in the front connector of meeting. 120 remaining. It's 5v3 in favor of Paradox once again. But JT is down, so potentially a 4v3. Everyone just kind of taking their time. It's really quiet right now. Still a tango going down inside a tower. The dance going back and forth. Habana finally getting the pick. She knows she's down, just going to push forward and get the pick. I'm just not sure if he knows JT is down in the front side. Okay, JT was finally taken out. I'm assuming he bled out. They have control. It's now 3v3, 50 seconds remaining. Smoke holding the hallway, just watching the hatch. Still 3 smoke grenades remaining. Going to go ahead and start using those. Jaeger holding an angle to see if they peek outside of the kitchen. As he peeks away, Euro pushes through. He doesn't see him, and he gets the pick all the way through. Euro. Thatcher getting him from the kitchen side all the way into basement stairs. Using their Habana to get open the castle wall. 2v3 in favor of Ferocity now. 20 seconds remaining. Mira and Smoke's left. Smoke has no more of his smoke grenades. They're going to smoke and push in. Let's see what happens. No, they're in the barbed wire. They're not opting for a pre-fire. He's going to push to the right laundry side. Moss getting a pick on Cliché from the backside. It's 3v1. 5 seconds left, but they're going to get the bomb down. And Euro getting a double kill that round. Picks up Bonsai through the closet. And then round goes over to Ferocity. And in the beginning right there, Town, I really thought that it was going to go to Paradox. With the early picks, they were at a 2-man advantage. But Ferocity able to bring it back. And what do you think actually happened that caused the turn of events there?
So I just want to go and point off that should have been Paradox's round. Whenever you have a smoke and a Mira with your Mira intact, and the attacking team is just opening the front hatch and pushing down into sight with less than 30 seconds left, there's absolutely zero excuses to be losing that sort of situation. Yes, the numbers look a little bit deceiving. Yes, it was a 2v3. But I've played plenty of games where we've 2v5 the attacking team that's doing that. They're just at such a rush. All you have to do is make sure you save your smokes for that situation, and of course use your C4s. Not sure why Smoke was using, or how he already used all 3 of his smoke grenades. That is a huge misplay in my opinion.
I would totally agree.
You need to be saving those for the last minute rush or a last minute plant. Because if you're not saving it for that, what are you doing? There was no Montang. Montang's the only other acceptable reason you should be doing that. He didn't get any ground with it either. Sometimes say they're up in a hallway, you can use a smoke grenade, pop it, and get up a little closer. I didn't see any of that, so that leads me to believe that he just kind of threw him, and I don't know what he did. They obviously didn't do that much, so that was, I believe, that should have been Paradox's round there, especially towards the end there. However, Ferocity on the attack that round, they were kind of slow, honestly. They were looking for picks. At one point it was like a 2.5 on 5. So really Paradox, over peaking, overstepping their advantage that they had, thinking that they had more than they actually did. So they really need to just settle down. It probably comes down to nerves and comes down to experience, but honestly, this is still anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, it's only 2-0, and we saw him use the first smoke around 45 seconds. He used it to prevent him coming down from hatch, but obviously he wasn't even coming down from hatch. You have to save at least one for under 20 seconds, excuse me, but that's not something he did. But right here, Mayhem holding a tight angle. Mira, I'm not quite sure if she's aware. And it looks like he's going to shoot him from above with a shotgun. Mira pushing down the stairs, tries to get him, takes him down to about 25% health, but doesn't get the kill. They're still going to continue to do this song and dance. In the midst, Mira going to get open tower. Do have a player from Ferocity sitting inside of it. Moss getting the pick with Valkyrie onto JT. Buck is down. Moss with a double kill. Unfortunately, we were missing it, but he was doing a good job on the roam. He flanked him from behind. They weren't aware of him coming, and now it's another round in favor of Ferocity. Vertex peeks and misses the shot, and Moss getting a triple kill. And that just can't happen if you're Blackbeard, but as that happens, Bonsai and Habana gets the pick on King Leo. Jaeger's down 2v4 in favor of Ferocity, 120 remaining. Moss able to get his way into meeting. Have to see what they're going to do. Bonsai does have control of the back tower with Habana patiently peeking to see if anyone's going for a flank, but at some point they're going to have to start pushing. He is able to get inside, but Mira does a good job holding that white stairs and picks him up with a headshot. Fire rate pretty much won that battle. As soon as we were getting ready to switch over, Moss gets the quadra kill that round. That's a 4K on Rome. Single-handedly dominating them. And that just leads you to see that there couldn't have been efficient droning on that round.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that was the offsite. They won their offsite. Now they're up 3-0. So that this is really where Paradox is going to really start to feel it. They're going to start to panic if they don't have it all in check, if they don't create a plan. Because honestly, they didn't drone Masa properly on there on the first floor, and they got punished by it, picking up the first two. The Blackbeard, that was just a missed aim duel. Not exactly sure what happened on the last kill, but Masa very, very good individual play there. As you saw, like middle of the round or just towards the end of the round, Capital just jumped in the bottom of white stairs with a diffuser nonetheless. So really being a little bit too aggressive when you need to be passive, and being a little bit too passive when you need to be aggressive.
Right.
So they really need to try to figure out when do they need to push, how do they need to push, and how do, more importantly, do they work together to push? Because yes, you can do all these individual things like trying to hop through a window here and there and try to get a lucky pick, but in the end, that's exactly what it is. It's a lucky pick if you get it. And it's just being way too aggressive. They really just need to slow down and really think about and be smart about what they're doing.
Even though it was a minute left and they had the odds against them, you still want to be a little bit more calculated, like you said, and you said it perfectly. Play as a team. You know, they have great individual talent, but it just seems like they're not meshing well currently. They're going to have to make some adjustments, and this is where your captain really shines. Can you make the distinct changes that you need based on what your opponents have done, make the adjustments, and win from there? I guess we're going to find out. We are now in round 4 of our Week 1, Game 1 action for the Invite League of CCS, Cyber Athlete Championship Series. Still a 5v5, 2:30 remaining. Looks like they're opting to try to get control of top tower. Moss is on the north side windows. Capital going to throw a drone in the upper south side. Pretty much the only way to clear it out. So they know it's clear. About to spot Moss. They see that he's inside of the tower, or excuse me, the attic. And in the midst of that mayhem, getting a pick across the sandbag to the back tower and taking out Moss. JT getting a pick onto King Leo. Santa Fe still holding the top side. He's able to escape inside of the attic passageway. He's going to fall all the way back to site, but a good job by the defenders and Paradox. And once again, it's pretty much almost been every round, Talon. They've gotten the early advantage. Trippin pushes right through the backside of meeting from tower and picks up a kill onto JT on Pulse. Bringing it to a 4v3 situation. Still dancing on the outside of that tower. They need to make some progress. Euro doing a good job holding his position, but they're not making any advancements. They're not pressuring the backside of Kid's window. They're not pushing Master Bedroom, and it's dwindling down. They are also down a man, so we're going to have to see what they do. Mira hanging out right on the other side of this attic hallway by Armory.
A bomb has been located.
Defenders doing a good job being patient, holding their angles. Really like the use of the Mira right here. Everyone plays this wall. You usually use a transfer hold there, but if you know you're going to hold it from the opposite side, an easy way to peek through. 50 seconds left. Smoke still has 3 smoke grenades. Thatcher has now changed and moved his way over to the kid's bedroom. 40 seconds remaining. Advantage still in favor of Paradox. 4v3, 35 seconds. They have control of the window. Bonsai holding an angle on the small doors window. He picks through, and Trippin able to get the pick across to Armory. And now it's a 3v3 situation, but it's only 20 seconds left. Smoke using his first grenade and his second grenade. Only one smoke left, but he still has a lot of time. So a good use by him. Santa going to push in the hallway. He knows he's there. He pre-fires him. He gets him with a drop shot. And Santa, because of the drop shot, gets the trade. Vertex getting it back with a double kill. And he gets the triple kill at the end of the round and clutches it. Paradox finally getting their first round, and that is the momentum switch that they needed in the first place. And I've always said to everyone that talks to me, the fourth and third round are the most pivotal when it comes to tempo and the way it's going to turn. And that was a beautiful job by them to execute that strat at the end.
No, I agree. That was a very, very good good hold. Of course, it did come down to the last 15 seconds. That Smoke definitely could have thrown his last one, but that's kind of nitpicking. He did get kind of picked off because he missed his spray there and needed him to a little slow down. But at the beginning of round, that's where the real change happened. Just before last time I was talking about knowing when to be aggressive when you need to be aggressive and knowing when to be passive when you need to be passive.
Right.
That's exactly what we saw there. That Pulse, I forget who it was, and then Mayhem over in the bridge. They worked together very well. The attacking team was completely focused on Mayhem, the bandit in bridge, and suddenly this Pulse came. JT, it wasn't it. He came out from behind. He picked up one. Mayhem picked up one. And guess what? Both of them fell back. Perfect move. Absolutely perfect. Textbook player there. Get what you want to get and get out. Perfect. Pulse ended up picking up a little bit later. Not sure. He's probably just a little bit low on the map awareness there, but ended up working out in favor. And of course, Paradox won the round because of it. I would like to see this trend continue. If they can continue to do that and just be patient in what they're doing, they will win this game.
I agree completely. I love the way that in the early round they showed aggression to get inside of the building, but like you said, once they got the picks, they just calmed down. They backed off. They went back to their site and they did what they had to do. A beautiful job by them. And now we see another basement home. It is 1-3 in favor of Ferocity so far. Ferocity, formerly known as Lion Guard and Roger Dodger. Paradox, a new underage team. We're now in round 5, 2:20 remaining. See what kind of control they're looking to take. They have droned out the meeting and garage, but they still haven't entered anything other than top tower. But JT does have tower control. He's going to open the back of attic, giving himself a way in if he chooses to. Pretty much everyone on drone, and I've always said that I don't understand why people drone without following it, and Moss does a good job. He follows him up all the way in the basement stairs, pushes up when he's going to drop a deployable charge, and he catches him with a C4. JT on the backside, though, gets a trade back, and it's now 4-4. That was Ash picking up Jaeger. Clearly Ash better in that main. Paul still pulsing from underneath. He knows he's right by the hatch. They have two inside a front lobby, excuse me. Habana doing a good job getting open the hatch, using her other Habana charge to get the wall. She still has 2 left. Ash is in meeting. She has rear stage control. Blackbeard just going to hold the angle into laundry. Happy Tau going to continue to drone. They do have control of the building. Only 1 minute and 5 remaining. Again, a 4v4 situation. I really like what I'm seeing. They just do not stop. They have a very strong droning game. Paradox has had pretty much the advantage on almost every round and dropped the ball. So if they can actually just tighten up and execute, they should have this round 2. Blackbeard peeking down to the mirror. The mirror tries to spray, gets a little bit of damage onto the shield, but shield saving the life. Otherwise, it would have been a kill. JT going to smoke it off. They're going to push in sight, and JT does something that Paradox does something that most teams doesn't do, which is tries to run across and plant on the west side laundry basket. That is not what you want to do. You have no cover. They can still see you when they're there. I guess they're expecting to use... Oh, and he goes for the C4 he had last time, but this time they were able to make the adjustments. He got the kill from the hatch, and Blackbeard doing a perfect job holding the angle, and in the midst of that, Cliche gets a kill and gets another one from behind. That's a double kill and a triple kill. Cliche and Paradox bringing it back. It was 0-3, and now it's 2-3. Again, patience where they needed. A beautiful execution.
Wow. Honestly, I'm very surprised that they were able to get that attack run. Again, I really thought Ferocity had that there, just because there's a fundamental flaw with the operator's pick coming out from Paradox that round. They had the Twitch. Twitch got picked off early. How are you going to deal with that Mira? Honestly, that entire round came down to a misplay between the Mira and the smoke that were remaining. The smoke, I know he threw it pretty close to the hatch. I think he needed to get it a little bit deeper, try to prevent that plant.
Right.
A little bit unlucky there for the Mira. She kind of she peeked a little too wide when she went to go with her C4. Maybe try to bait out a couple of shots from the Blackbeard. But good job on the Blackbeard, making sure you're covering your person, making sure the C4 is not going to get off. So
Yeah,
it's a very good round. Although I think there's a little bit of room for improvement.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they did a good job. It was a really beautiful looking round from our perspective, but I think there was some crucial misplays on defense, like you were touching on, that made it look so flawless. Like you were mentioning, you know, he did do the jiggle peek with the C4 prior. So knowing that, maybe he could have tried something like laying down and then throwing it. I know it's a little bit more difficult to toss, but you can still aim upward and get it there. They don't jump up on top of the actual washing machine itself for some reason, which is what prevents that C4 from fully killing you. If you're full health, it'll only take you down to about 12, 15 health. So definitely a different way he could have played that. But again, we are in the basement. We're going to see the same setup. Mira going to reinforce the right side wall in the closet. Put the Mira up so that they can play it with the smoke or the C4. Smoke going to make the transfer holes between closet and the B-bomb site. Mayhem, I like what he's doing here because, of course, they're playing a meeting hold. So he's going to sit up and bandit trick the back of rear tower from attic. Because as you know, Talon, whenever people do try to take control of this meeting on defense, the best way to counter is to get control of the attic because then you can't safely play up there. We're going to see if he can continue to deny that. And as you can see, you were touching on Twitch, and they're actually bringing the Thatcher, and they're going to need it if they want to get inside that tower. 2 minutes left. Still no one dead. They do have control of the backside of tower. Euro with Thatcher gets a pick on an aggressive JT. I'm assuming that he was able to get him through the door on the rotation, trying to go through, and Trippin on the other side gets another one, and that's 2 kills for Ferocity. They're now inside of meeting and have full control. Only 1 minute and 40 remaining. They're doing a fantastic job of securing the priority areas. Of course, Mayhem still holding tight in the top of that attic. At this point, they can pretty much ignore him as long as they watch and are mindful of their flank. They have the numbers advantage if they trade out here. Santa's still going to hold tight on the backside and apply pressure to Mayhem just to make sure that they don't get an easy flank. See if what kind of dance they're going to do. They're just barely missing each other. Shoots the fire through. He's going to have to jump up. If he pulls his gun out, he knows he's going aggressive, but Mayhem gets the pick, catches him switching out his darts. And Juro going to peek him. I'm not sure why he peeked like that. He knows he has the advantage. Still laying there, trying to play it aggressively. King Leo gets the grenade going down the stairs onto Cliché, and that's smoke down. They no longer have that tool. 45 seconds remaining, 4v2 in favor of Ferocity. C4 coming across. Beautiful job by Trippin using that Mira. Was able to get in. Euro putting the plant down, not going to get on top of the washing machine. King Leo flanks the backside. Or excuse me, Sledge was able to get him from the backside, and Mosh pushes through on Bonsai. Tongue twister for me that round. Looking good so far.
Dominating rounds. Like I said, looking like a dominating round coming out from Ferocity there. One interesting thing that I'm not exactly sure why they're doing it, but Paradox, they are neglecting to reinforce the wall of meeting that is closest to garage. I'm not sure. Castle got spammed through there by the Thatcher that round. Why aren't they reinforcing it? Why isn't it being opened? You know, that's the spot where you're going to be playing your anchor spot. Usually teams will could put a Mira there, and that's where you're going to sit. So try to hold your angles coming from back tower. And that's where the attacking team is pushing from.
Gives you that power position.
Exactly. That's going to be your linchpin position for that upstairs. Trying to hold that upstairs. So you really need to try to reinforce that if you're trying to hold meeting completely. Sit in that little corner right there because you have the castle. The double wide door is castled off, so you can safely play there. And if you really are worried about it, you can even put a shield in the doorway right next to that position. And that's the person that's going to prevent them from entering in from the tower side. There's really no other place that you can really play to try to prevent them from getting in from back tower. Obviously, they have Mayhem up in the bridge. That's totally fine. But they had 2 people in meeting that died before the bridge was taken.
Right.
Like, I'm not exactly sure. That should almost never happen, really. It never should happen.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I definitely think they need to go back to the drawing board there and how exactly they're going to play the meeting, where are they going to hold, and how are they going to repel certain attacks, because most teams aren't just going to let it go. This is the wall I'm talking about. The King Leo is just now reinforcing. That's the wall that they really need to be paying more attention to.
Yeah, very pivotal spot in the meeting hall. I like how they're setting it up, but like you said, without that, they were able to just push in the backside of tower, get the double kill, and ultimately that's what led to their demise on that particular round. But we are into round 7. 2-4 in favor of Ferocity on match point. They brought the Mira instead of the Thatcher again, and JT, being very aggressive, gets the pick onto Moss on the backside, and Trippin gets the trade. And that was up in tower, so lots of back and forth. Not even a minute played yet. We're just now hitting 2 minutes. Smoke holding downstairs. King Leo going to take out a drone that was coming from front lobby into the right side of meeting. Another drone going to come through. As you can see, they have control of kitchen. Honest pushed into front lobby. Opening up the side here of classroom to see down into laundry, of course. Hitting 30 remaining 4v4 situation right now. Which putting a spot to look from the garage down into the bottom of the stairs. Going into basement, he's going to deploy his charge. Going to assume that he's going for devices, and if he can get this mirror, it will actually be pretty big. Almost every time they've done it so far, they've been looking, and just like that, that touches on what you're saying, and now Twitch has done nothing. Of course, he brings a strong gun, but there's still ADSs, there's still all kinds of things that could have been done with Thatcher. 1 minute remaining, still a 4v4. He's going to put a Claymore on the back side of meeting to watch the tower flank. And now you're seeing Capital do what he does. He's putting his flame and smoke down to try to go in for the plant. Fauna does manage to get inside, and again, they're going to plant right in front of the washing machine. They do successfully get the plant down. We're going to see what they do. It's going to be very difficult to retake this. Bonsai able to get the pick from the hatch into the hallway. He knows King Leo has now pushed into laundry. Let's see if he can get a double kill. 4v3 in favor of Paradox. He peeks. Bonsai gets a kill. Cliche. Vertex kills his own teammate. Mayhem on the flank. That's Claymore we were talking about with Twitch. There you have it. Another round goes to Paradox, and their life is still on the line, bringing it 1 round closer to overtime. It's now 4-3 match point in favor of Ferocity. Good round by Paradox.
Interesting round indeed. Again, neglecting to bring and try to even open up that mirror. However, I don't even think that they have to open that mirror at this point, because or Ferocity, my bad, is just kind of let it get to their heads. Honestly, they're letting it kind of get to their heads, and that really showed that they were able to walk in and plant with about 45 seconds left. That's a big chunk of time, honestly. The smoke and mirror, I guess they were too overwhelmed by external factors. Not sure how they missed someone running down into default plant spot. The Mira sitting there, I think that really falls on her to realize, hey, they're going for a plant, and call out for that smoke, call out for that C4 or something, because she was about halfway through the plant when someone realized that they were planting, and the smoke just came out. It was just a little bit too little too late. Definitely interesting. Again, you were talking about how the Twitch just cannot get that mirror open. I definitely think that they need to be investing a little bit more in swapping up to Thatcher. Using 1 grenade, take out all the ADSs and the battery that was already on there, and just go ahead and Habana it, get it open, push him out of closet, and really disrupt the strategy. Of course, it still worked out in the end because they were able to slip Habana in very sneakily, and she was able to go ahead and get the plant off. But
they were very fortunate that she was able to get the plant off, because they weren't aware. If anything, the only thing the Twitch drone did do was pull the attention from the smoke off momentarily, which allowed her to sneak in there. But other than that, I do not like their inability to adapt. You know the Twitch isn't working. You have to start bringing the Thatcher, and in the middle of that, Moss looks like Mayhem went for a peek, and he got him. And in Cliche, I'm not sure where that happened at. He's able to get him on another peak, and too much aggression for Paradox, costing them very big this round. It is already a 5v4, and it's only been 45 seconds of play.
Definitely being way too aggressive there, especially off the start. We're not even a minute in, and two people are already dead on the attacking team. Huge, a little bit overstepping their bounds there, and I'd be very surprised if they were able to hold this.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult on the defenders. If there was an attacker, it'd still be plausible, you know. But as a defender, it's a little harder. But as we're saying that, Bonsai says, "I'm going to make it a little bit easier for us," and gets a pick across to Capitao, who was peeking through the attic window. So a very good shot by him. He was in prime position. He gets some sprays on Trippin, but misses him. He does take some damage from Ash, who is on the big dorms window. Ash uses the smoke, pushes in, and she has control of small dorms. Vortex in the middle of that gets a trade over to Euro. And just like that, Talon, it is now a 3v3. But Moss, as we says that, gets a pick trading across the Vortex. I don't think they knew he made it in there. Very good job by him to sneak into sight. It is now a 2v3 situation. The advantage is back in favor of Ferocity, who is on match point. King Leo on Sledge. He is very low. Ash just going to hold. Meaning Paul tries to get him from underneath, but doesn't see Moss on the stairs on Ash, and he gets the kill. And that's Paul down. It's the 3v1 situation, and this match is pretty much over. Able to get the bomb down. Mira all by herself. Let's see if she can get any trades and have some kind of luck here. This one's pretty much locked up, and there you go, Trippin picking the kill across from the top of White Stairs into small dorms. And that is, as you can see, the GG's coming out. A 5-3 victory on map 1. Of course, this is a best of 3. Next map is Border. Very, very exciting match. I like how it was still close. You know, I think Paradox could have did a couple things differently. Maybe a little bit more adaptation from them, but still a pretty good performance overall.
Yeah, I'd like to know how that how the smoke cliche there. I'm not sure how he died. If he was playing that white spot position, there should be no reason how he, I guess, died. Maybe he died to a repel on kids. Because if he's playing that mirror, that Ash ran into small dorms, that would have been the easiest pick of his life if he was able to stay alive from that time. Of course, I would have liked to see the Pulse trying to play a little bit more to kill the person in small dorms. Because if the attacking team has small dorms and white spot, that's a little bit more influential than, say, for example, just sitting inside of like kids or main dorms.
Yeah.
Now, I think he actually put the C4 in the right spot against the Sledge, but there might have been a little bit of damage that came out on the Sledge, but not that much. I was very surprised when I saw that C4 go off and it didn't kill him. So maybe a little bit unlucky there, but either way, there's still a lot of mistakes that happened that round that led up to him having to use his C4 in that manner. So
Right.
good try for Paradox, but they weren't quite able to keep up.
All right, and with that note, we're going to allow the players to take a short 5-minute break, and then we will come back. Again, we are bringing it on Border. This is the day 1, week 1 for our CCS PCNA Invite League. As of right now, it is a $500 first place prize, but of course, any donations, we have B-bands, things of that nature, that increases the prize pool. I am Fluffy, that's Town, and we will be right back after this short interval. Thank you. All right. As the timer ticks down, we are back. We are going to be getting into map 2 here on week 1, play day 1. We have Ferocity versus Paradox. If you weren't here, Ferocity wins the first map and a pretty tough fought victory, even though it was a 5-3 victory. So now they're up 1-0. All matches are a best of 3 in this 14 match season. And all the players are already ready to go, and I think we're just going to go ahead and jump right back into it. And here we go. Border, one of my personal favorite maps. I love the way Mira has affected the play of this map, the way you utilize the back of the dome, some call office, and the small office itself.
Yep, definitely a very, very solid map. Very, very balanced map as well. Even though in Armory Archives, the defensive win rate is about 70%, it's kind of balanced out by the fact that the secondary bomb site, usually Event Workshop, is actually favoring the attackers, with the defensive win percentage being around 45, 46%. So it's definitely a very, very solid map, very balanced map for both teams, both sides. It's interesting to see. Actually, Paradox coming out with the event workshop. They're starting out on the off site.
Looks
This
like
is
they're going to
actually a
throw him
very good
off.
play.
Now, you know, a
Yeah,
lot of
for
teams will
sure. I'm
use
not.
the buck, the fuse, the
Hmm.
sledge. So doing something like this, you can see clearly they have the sledge. That's a standard pickup for a lot of people, but they're not going to be able to account for it and bring the buck. They're not going to be able to account for it and bring the fuse if they potentially want to, because fuse is very good at clearing out the back of server and construction itself. So I really like the change here for them.
Yeah, this is it's a tactic that some teams have used to go vent first, and I've seen a lot of teams when they start out on attack for border, or when they're doing their very first attack. Either way, a lot of teams will decide to pick a buck or not so much really a fuse, because just in case it is upstairs, a fuse would be a detriment. However, a lot of teams they run a little bit different of an attack strategy, one that can be flexed into an attack or a event workshop sort of take either way.
Right.
Of course, it's really not that big of a deal, because if they're originally thinking they were going to go and take armory, just go ahead and take armory anyway, and you're already halfway to victory there. So it's not too big of a deal to do this like on border, or to have it happen to you on border than say like Clubhouse or another maps like
Yeah.
Oregon.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But it's definitely a good decision here to go ahead and start on the bottom. A little bit of a calculated risk, but it definitely has paid off, I believe.
Yeah, I like the change for them, and you know they just lost the first map 5-3, and I feel like a couple of those rounds they lost really should have been theirs. Um, so I like the fact that they talked it over and wanted to try something to catch them off guard, give themselves a little bit of an early advantage. But the round is now officially started. Ferocity is on attack. Paradox on defense. If you see here on construction itself, they have reinforced the south side walls. They opened up a hole into the bathroom, have castled the bathroom door. This allows them to play on the backside and rotate through freely. We see a Mira. I can't quite see where the Mira has placed her. All right, so the Mira has placed one of her Miras on the small wall facing into archives. And the other one is to watch the front door. JT going to play this very aggressively. They do already have control of server room on the attacker side. And that was only 45 seconds, so a good job by them so far on their pace of attack. Done a fairly good job all day on their pace of attack. They're getting the inside cameras. Moss has control of the east side stairs. They have control of server, as we stated. Defenders pretty much just going to hold down Armory and Archives. Going to play Archives from the Armory side. They have the castle wall. Sledge able to get the castle wall open, and Moss is going to have to run for his life, put some pre-fire down to cover himself. Smoke has come across from the attackers. Trippin now going to place his thermite chart on the right side. King Leo picks up Vortex, though, and that's Jaeger down. It's now 4v3, or excuse me, 5v4 in favor of Ferocity. And Euro gets a pick across. Moss gets another one. And the fragging power that you were talking about coming up very big on this round. 5v2 just like that. 1:15 remaining. They have complete control of the upstairs. They have killed all of the roamers. Now it's pretty much just infiltrate and execute the bomb. Still going to take their time and drone. I like that. Don't get too complacent. Take your time. Do what you're supposed to. Go through your mechanics. And they continue to open up holes, see if they can't get sightline, get the picks without even having to push in. Mira's still holding the back of bathroom. She has a foothold to see if anyone drops down the hatch. Smoke gonna hold inside a vent room. I like how he has the opening on the top so he can throw the smokes through. Still a big number advantage. 40 seconds remaining. Mira's still holding the bathroom. Nades coming out. Moss finally jumping in. He's gonna push the backside of Smoke. He gets him killed. Mira doesn't see him. Bonzai gets a trade, but King Leo gets it right back at Sledge with the double kill, and that round goes to Ferocity.
Yeah, that was actually a very interesting hold on the upstairs defense there. They ended up losing control of upstairs with about 1:20 left. And that is just not enough time for the two people that are left downstairs to try and hold that, especially with 4 or 5 attackers still alive.
Absolutely.
I would have liked to have seen a little bit different of a play. It looked like they had a thermite that round, which means that all they had to do is just thermite right in, just push the bandit off. But what I wanted to actually see was I wanted to see the smoke upstairs. Now, it is a pretty common thing to have the smoke down in vents, but if you're playing that Mira on the armory wall, just like they did, I would have liked to see a smoke right there, so that way you can maybe, throw one to try to keep people off that wall a little bit. Because also with the shotgun as well, I think they ended up playing a castle, and then later on a bandit rotated over. I'm not sure why the bandit wasn't trying to bandit trick that wall, especially because they had that the thermite. All they had to do was just throw like one EMP or just one Twitch drone, and just comes around, shoots the batteries, go ahead and get the wall right open. So either put the smoke or the bandit there on that wall to try and hold that as much as possible, and then try to prevent the thermite and then get it in. But even if they open that wall, even say they open the wall, no big deal, right? Because when you play upstairs in Armory, they usually open that wall and you don't die with a minute and 20 seconds left. So I definitely think they needed to have pushed through it and held that a little bit longer. I would have liked to see them have to push in with about 30 seconds left, especially if you're going to invest that many players up there. You definitely need to be holding that a lot longer. So maybe they'll switch it up next round and we'll see some changes. That would definitely help them for sure.
Yeah, I personally like the same thing that you said. I like using the smoke upstairs, using your bandit, denying that wall. They were starting to push in the backside of Fountain, but they still couldn't deny. They ultimately pushed through the front side, and that's where the majority of the trades came through. See if they may make an adaptation for next time, but right now we are already 40 seconds into the second round, 1-0 in favor of Ferocity. They are now defending. Blackbeard has top AC control, but they have reinforced the east side metal wall. Personally, whenever you see this wall reinforced right here, you have to call an audible at this point in time. You want to take from the dome and office side and archives. It's much easier because they have to funnel through two different doorways. And as we're saying that, Vertex, he gets the kill onto Rook. Paradox in favor, 5v4. Doing a very good job holding his position. That's what Blackbeard does, just be a big bully, and he threw his weight around right there. And as we called, they did call for the rotation. They know that it's reinforced, so they're going to plant on this side. A very, very veteran move by the young team. Great recognition. They're going to use all three smoke grenades. He's going to back in. Check it from Blackbeard's perspective. The smokes are going to come through from the side, but I think he's just going to stick the plant. He does get the plant down. One smoke left. He's already used two. They have the bomb down and the numbers advantage. On the backside, Moss gets a flank, though, on Buck. He wasn't paying attention. Blackbeard still trying to hold this window. Flash is coming out. He has a very good angle on the bomb. All he has to do is take his time. Mayhem gets a trade on the Moss. King Leo taking it back from Mayhem. 3v3. Blackbeard, no more shields at his disposal. He's going to push outside, and he gets taken down. Very good play by the smoke. Now he's going to have to get the pick on the outside. The railing, though. JT does a good job with Thermite, just playing very patiently. Mira going to have to push out, and Bonsai gets a trade from the right side. Very well played. Very well executed from Paradox, and now it's 1-1.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head there with that wall being reinforced. If you let that wall being reinforced between Archives and Armory, then that's kind of like saying, hey, it's a free plan over here. We have no way to stop it except for going for a wide peak to try and stop it, which is definitely going to get punished by that Blackbeard.
Yep.
I don't know exactly what they were thinking. If you want to reinforce that wall, you're going to have to put a mirror on it.
Absolutely.
Because if not, you're playing with a little bit of fire there. And
you pretty much just choke yourself. If you don't put the mirror on there, your only choice is to try to get underneath, and you can still push the right side right underneath the Blackbeard, and there's no way to see for you from underneath. So potentially, when you reinforce that and don't put the mirror on, there is nothing for you to do.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Yeah, no, exactly. One thing I did know, or that I did find interesting, is that there's no glass. There's no glass. Of course, normally in Pro League we would see that. Of course, these team captains.
I'm glad you brought that up, Talon.
Yeah. So actually, I just reminded myself. Glass is actually banned.
Yes.
This is actually banned. That's what we didn't see.
So one of the distinct differences in the CCS and the ESL scene is that we had a players meeting after we had our 12 teams qualify, and the team captains themselves in a 9-3 vote voted to get rid of Glaz So that's why you're seeing such exciting gunplay. It's not as stale and stagnant. You know, everyone hates Glass pretty much right now, and I'll just say it. I don't care what kind of repercussions come because he has completely altered the game. And I know from personal experience, you know, one of the first times that we tried to play without Glass, it seemed very odd because he is so overwhelmingly strong and he has so much control power.
Yeah, the move that actually made me think of Gauze was the thermite. Right as he went in to go for the plant, he actually smoked himself off, and that Blackbeard couldn't really help him that much. So if the defenders realized, hey, they smoked themselves off, hey, there's no Glass, let's just run in there and get a pick, that might have actually worked.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, look, he's throwing down smokes for the Glass. Oh wait, there's no Glass. Why is he throwing down smokes like that? If you're gonna be smoking for your plant, smoke off where the defenders are going to be, not on top of each other like you would if you had a Glass.
King Leo getting a pick on Sledge over to Pulse on JT, who was roaming inside of luggage claim. So that was a very good job by him upon entry. He was able to sledge open the front of Passport check and walk right inside of customs. He's now going to repel up and probably take control of security. They don't have control of security quite yet. Actually, excuse me, yes they do. They just got inside of the break room. He's looking for a crossfire down the hallway. He misses his shots. I'd say Mayhem actually did a good job dunking right underneath those bullets. Let's see if he goes for another aggressive peek. Vortex piece it, but he doesn't see him. 135 remaining, 5v4 in favor of Ferocity. Round 3, 1-1. Map 1 did go over to Ferocity if you were not with us. Cliche doing a good job getting a pick to trip him, but he downs in the process. But that's just going to be an easy pickup for the defenders. And just like that, it's now a 4v4 situation. Although Smoke is at 50% health, he has used one of his smokes already. Flashes have came through. He's now flashed standing behind the bomb. Gonna go for an aggressive peek, and he's able to get the pick on Euro. That's a double kill now for Cliche. We're gonna stick with him and see if he can get something bigger. Doing a very good job using the aggression to his favor. Santa getting a pick on the backside from Bonsai. And that was a good job by Capitao, and in the midst, he took his attention off of the front door. He gets the pick through. Jaeger comes across the side. He gets the trade. 2v3 in favor of Paradox. 45 seconds left. Moss, right as we say that, gets a double kill, and that's the end of a round. And it's now 2-1 in favor of Ferocity.
Very interesting there that the Smoke decided to go to blue corner so late in the round. I get that he was maybe trying to catch someone off guard, but it's just such an exposed position, especially getting that late in the round. I'm not exactly sure if he did have those smoke grenades to use, but if he did have those smoke grenades to use, he should have been staying back, playing a lot safer to use those smoke grenades instead of just running out there and going for the gun picks only.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, the reduction in the manpower on site meant that Jaeger had to watch 2 angles, one from beepers and archives, and then of course one from armory wall. It just became too much for him to handle, and so the Ash was able to run in there and go ahead and get both of them. I think Ash ended up sneaking in there. There was a little bit of barbed wire that she had to go through, so not exactly sure how she got in without someone noticing. Maybe it was during the gunfight. So a little bit of a misstep there by Smoke. He needed to play back, be a little bit more passive, and learn again when you need to be passive and when you need to be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, Smoke's a really strong class. I personally do enjoy playing him on roam, but if you're going to bring him to the site, you have to remember, you know, he got the early pick. The aggression paid off at that point. All he had to do was just wait. He didn't have to continue to peek aggressively. He could have just lobbed his grenades over the top of that wall, just kept holding him out, but he went aggressive. He got picked because he got distracted on the left side, and like you said, it was just too overwhelming for the final 2 members. That's what led to their demise. And it is now 2-1 in favor of Ferocity. They did win map 1 5-3 on Oregon. They're holding Armory like we just saw, pretty much the standard. I like how they're doing this though. They put the mirror on the Armory wall and then put a line of sight into security. Everyone of course takes control of security, so this allows for a quick jiggle peek after they have obtained control. So a very good use right there of the mechanics of the game. Rest pretty much standard. Bandit gonna bandit charge these walls, make sure that no cheeky stuff comes out by Habana. Smoke gonna play the B side of Archives. Of course, Blackbeard already having control of that AC unit, the power position. A little curious though, you're gonna bring Buck like this. Why not go from underneath and put a little bit of stress on that pillbox in the armory wall? Looks like they're playing for the dome office side. Buck opens up the wall. They're pretty much all just sitting on drone now. They have 2 drones in. One on defense is inside on the fountain wall itself. Moss holding it with Bandit. They have 2 players there. That's 2 drones that have came in and went down. King Leo and Moss holding the exact same Mira. Could be a very scary situation, but at the same time could be very strong too. Smoke's coming in from the hallway into the office. They're opting to play back a little bit farther. Going to sit back in the corner of the fountain itself. Blackbeard still holding that corner. Going to drone inside. See if he can spot out Smoke and make something happen. Rook just holding the small office, but he's peeking. JT on Thermite once again getting a big frag. He gets the pick up onto Moss. That's Bandit down. King Leo still stuck in the back corner, the southeast corner of Fountain. JT, if you see what he's doing, he's actually using his fute charges to try to bait him to look at him. And the first one he does, he jiggles him and he gets the charge off. So his job has been done. Archives wall is open. King Leo still inside. Euro gets taken down. Not sure how he got in there. Looks like he pushed the outside in. Santa able to pick up JT as he pushes in that open armory wall. Vortex getting the pick from the armory in. He's going to push inside. King Leo taking down Mayhem. All kind of action going back and forth. 3v3. 33 seconds remaining. Blackbeard pushes in. He's able to get down Jaeger, but a C4 going to come in from Santa. Mira with a double kill doing a great job, but she gets taken down. Bonsai and Cliche finishing out the round, and right at the end they crumble. They were doing such a good job holding on defense, and pretty much Paradox just bullied their way in and said, this is my round, and it is now 2-2, all tied up on border.
Yeah, very fantastic use of droning. Definitely a complete 180 from what we saw in the first couple rounds of Oregon. There were first couple rounds of Oregon. There was not that much droning. That round we saw tons of droning, tons of info. They knew what was going on. They had the big picture, and when you have the big picture, the IGL can more accurately, figure out what needs to happen, who needs to go where, and what is the best course of action for them to attack. And of course, it ended up working. Now, however, they did have to. They won a couple of very key gunfights, and those gunfights were, of course, taking out the first person in Fountain, and then the Blackbeard hopping in through the window and getting the second person in Fountain. Once you push out the person in Fountain, and of course they down the Smoke there in sight, he was sitting there for a long time. Once you get those picks, that really opens up a ton of opportunity. Mira just could not handle trying to take everyone out at once. A little bit over aggression by the Thermite there. He just kind of ran through the wall and of course got punished for it. But other than that, it was a very, very solid round and much better round than what we've been seeing.
Yeah, they did a very good job of executing on that round. They were very patient. It goes back to what you were talking about on Oregon, showing signs of aggression in the right moment and showing signs of patience in the right moment just as well. And that's pretty much what led to them winning that round. So good job by them to bring it back and tie it up. They are down 1 map, but they have been playing very good so far. Just a couple mistakes here and there pretty much is the separation right now between these two teams, and I would say got to give kudos to them. Ferocity did just qualify for Pro League team, so potentially they're, these youngins are playing a Pro League level team. So I'm very impressed with what they're doing. Mira going to put her Mira charge on the south wall. Excuse me, go ahead.
I was saying that they're definitely holding their own and showing that, hey, we can play with the big leagues, underage or not.
Yeah, the other notable difference in our league from ESL is we are not bound by the same rules and regulations, so we do have all kinds of players from 13 and up. So you're seeing wonderful play from players like Paradox here. 1 minute remaining. Moss is able to get the entry frag onto Mira. That's on the backside. I'm not sure what she was doing, peeking too aggressively into the break room, and she capitalizes on that. That's 1 minute down and 1 man down for Paradox. 5v4 in favor of Ferocity. But just like that, Smoke does a wonderful job playing that Mira and gets the trade back, and Sledge is now down. King Leo down, one of the better fraggers for their team. He knows Euro's right here. Let's see what they do with this Mira. And once again, he's going to look for another jiggle peek. Is he able to get it? He does! Cliche! Euro doing the exact same thing, and he didn't learn from his teammate's mistake. And it is now a 4v3 in favor of Paradox. And just like that, Cliche with the triple kill. Beautiful heads up play. Knows Ash is underneath. Opens up the hatch. Drops down and gets the kill. 4v2. 1:15 remaining. Smoke gonna try to push back up the stairs. He knows Santa's here. You can tell he heard him. And look, it was a weird pre-fire. But he's able to get the quadra kill. And that's 4 for him. Can he get the ace? Last man alive is Hibana. Hibana gets taken down. Mayhem steals his ace. But Paradox down early, but now have the advantage in this one, 3-2.
Yeah, that was huge solo play coming out there for Smoke. Really smart decision after once he realized that Ash might have been on the run. Went ahead and dropped down and got that kill. A couple of nice pre-fires using that Mira. Perfect use, and honestly textbook use of Mira.
Yeah, I would agree. It's pretty much what you do with that. Although I personally like it on the right side. He did a phenomenal job. They were able to keep him off of the AC unit enough to not hit him in the back, so he's able to freely play that. So very good job by them. Here we go. We are into, once it loads, round 6.
Defused by attackers.
It is 2-3, excuse me, in favor of Paradox here on border. Map 1 in this best of 3 on Oregon did go over to Ferocity. This has been pretty much a dogfight back and forth the entire time on both maps.
You know, for sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first time that Paradox has been in the lead this series?
Okay, I will say I'm pretty positive. I'm not 100%, but I'm fairly positive you are correct. Because other than bringing tying rounds, they were up pretty much all of Oregon. So, going to be interesting to see how they come back from that, if that was what you were applying.
Well, no, I'm just saying this is the first time that Paradox has actually been in the lead here. Most of the time they've been on the back foot. They've been either in a tie situation or at like one behind or something like that. So maybe this is saying that, hey, this is going to be their map. This is their time to shine. It definitely looks like Paradox is much more comfortable on border. I'm not exactly sure if this is their pick or if this was Ferocity's pick, but Paradox definitely showing that they like this map and they can handle it.
Yeah, they did a really good job on that one. Brief moment, I can actually check and know Oregon was Paradox pick, so they're doing a phenomenal job. This is Ferocity's pick. All right, Pulse is just going to pretty much sit inside and do his thing. Now they are sitting outside a pillbox. They're going to go for that. Bandit looking to place the charge, but it looks like he guesses wrong. It's planted on the right wall, and he goes for the left one, and now the box is open. So a good job by Thermite to trick him out. JT going to put some shots down. Trying to come across. He gets the pick, but no. Santa on Bandit gets the pick across to Thermite. Thankfully for them, his job has already been done, and that wall is open. And Cliche on Buck gets the trade back to even up the 4-4, but Vortex, he's on the outside of the locker window, and he gets the pick, and Santa, he gets the aggressive play onto Mayhem, peeking that wall aggressively. The bomb is still down out here, 1:30 remaining. It's a 3v3 situation. Vertex gonna flash in. Looks like he might be opting to jump inside of this locker. Not sure. Okay, so he does finally jump in. Santa was able to see his shield, but Buck opens it up, and the pistol play by Santa. Vertex able to crunch, and they did not collapse on that situation the right way. That should have never happened. The trade right back. Vortex gets it, but still, favor advantage of Ferocity. Excuse me, it's 2v2. Paul still hanging out underneath. He does has his C4. 50 seconds remaining. Bomb is finally obtained by Blackbeard. They've dropped down outside. Looks like they're going to play the ventilation. 40 seconds left. Still going to take the time to drone. Love how much they drone. Doing a very good job of that. They finally opened the parking lot door. Hibana going to use one of her charges to open up this castle. No, not really any other way to do it other than punching it. But Paul's not going to be able to C4 from above. Vertex going to jump in. Euro does see him, but he misses most of his shots. And a beautiful down by Vortex. Moss is able to get the pick on the backside. And he's going to pick his teammate up. He fakes it. Looks like he pushes through, and he gets them down. It's now a 1v1. Moss with a beautiful job. If you see what he did there, he baited the fact that he was going to pick him up. He ran around from the front lobby, as you can see right here, and shoots him in the back. Very intelligent play by him. That round goes over to Ferocity, and it is now 3v3 tied up once again.
Yeah, no, that is the exact hold that they need to be seeing. When you're playing in Vents Workshop and you're going to be trying to hold armory like that, that is the exact sort of situation you want to be in. There's that bandit on that wall. I got tons of picks. And honestly, it came down to a couple of things. I don't think they redroned him. I think they got that wall open, and I think they assumed that he would have fallen back. But instead, he played the aggressive angle, and it ended up paying off big time.
Right. Yeah, definitely paid off big time. Was able to bring it back. They finally, for the first time, had the pressure on their side as they were down in rounds, but they did a very good job handling that pressure and doing what they had to do to win that round to bring it back to being tied up. And it's now, like we said, 3-3. Round 7 underway. We are back to an armory hold.
One of the things that they actually could have done a little bit better in terms of defense, maybe to make it a little bit better, is that they didn't actually open up any of the small office wall. It was completely soft. There's no holes or anything. So maybe that was one of the reasons why that bandit was able to stay there for as long as he did. However, normally you will see a bunch of holes opened up, so that way someone who's in back lockers can maybe help out with the bandit. Because if they had properly droned him, and if they had even just just tossed a nade in, or at least even destroy the castle barricade that's on there, he would have definitely had a much harder time trying to hold that. So I would have liked to have seen something to help him. And then another thing that we didn't really see was there wasn't that much opening between server and vents. They had one rotate hole, which is where the Blackbirds ended up dying in. They reinforced the other wall, but then everything else was soft. There was no mirror on it. So realistically, the defender or the attackers, all they had to do was realize, hey, they put a reinforcement on that wall, just sprint straight in, plant on that reinforcement, and there would have been very little that the defenders could have been able to do there. I don't think that they realized that they have that opportunity, but if they did realize it, that could have been a very, very quick round for the attackers.
All right, now Ferocity during that has obtained control of security. They're throwing grenades in to keep Bandit off of this. They know he's been pretty much jiggle peeking it the whole time. They got a grenade off, that hurt him. He threw a flash and the first one doesn't land. The second one doesn't land, but a drone comes through and they're pretty much putting all kinds of pressure on Bandit right now on this pillbox. He is blind as can be and runs directly into the door. Very good job using those flash grenades. And Santa's able to get the kill and he gets the trade. The down goes to JT, so a good job by him. Moss in the middle of that gets a pick onto Vortex. Moss decides to take the kill and finishes it up, and just like that, 5-2, in favor of Ferocity. They have obtained possession of this pillbox in Armory, so all they're going to have to do is clear out. Pretty much a vertical play, but Cliche does a very good job with the smoke. A couple of quick taps, and he kills him, but Santa, that's a double kill and a down, so he's doing a very good job coming in with the heavy frags this round. 4v1 in favor of Ferocity. A minute 50 remaining. They pretty much can just trade out, drone out, take their time. He knows he's here in bathroom. Let's jump on board with Mira. See if she can pull a miracle out of her hat. Putting all kinds of fire out, pre-firing. They're just going to push in, and there's not much that you can do there. Moss with the double kill, technically triple kill, stolen from Santa, but a good job by them. And honestly, Town, that was really quick execution. They got in, they got the kills, they pushed through, they pretty much just threw their weight around and said, hey, this is our site and we're going to take it. And now they're up 4-3.
Yeah, and that was a very explosive attack round, and that's what you really need to be doing when they're playing Vents Workshop. You need to try and explode onto that upper Armory site, because if you can take Armory site, which is what they did in a very short amount of time, you have a lot of time still left on the clock to start working those vertical angles, and that's exactly what we saw. We saw the smoke get picked up from the floor. Nothing much he really could have done there. It's really on his teammates to try and hold that upstairs a little bit better. He maybe could have ran around a little bit, but if you have the time and you start working those vertical angles, you can get tons of picks like that. You can gain a lot of ground like that. And if you're gaining all this ground and you still have a bunch of time left, you can drone, you can walk your way in, you can take your time, checking your angles, making sure you're not rushing. And that's exactly what we saw. They exploded off the beginning, slowed a little bit down during the middle, and then once they realized where the last few are, they exploded again back onto them. Very dominant performance that round.
Yeah, I really like what I saw there. They
10
just
seconds left.
wasn't going to take no for an answer and did exactly like you said. You have to put the aggression on that and get control. That pretty much opens up the rest of the map, and they executed that perfectly. And now they're back on defense on match point. They are playing the Armory and Archives bomb site. Mira, of course, doing the exact same thing that we have seen Mira on this Armory wall. Vision holes into security to try to use that jiggle peek, and they've been doing a very good job to this point. Hacker's going to drone out this break room and security room, pretty much standard. Everyone does the same thing. This is the pivotal point to take. So let's see how long it actually takes them to obtain possession, and if anyone can get a flank. Blackbeard does have control of the AC unit, already holding that angle, trying to put some fire down. And he knows this wall isn't reinforced, so he's just going to open it up so that Mira can't play the Mira in the small office. But little do they know, there is no Mira in that small office, and it is completely soft. Looking to just make some holes. Now they do have control of security and break room already. EMP's going out so that Habana can just go ahead and open up that Mira so she can't play it any longer. Very good job by them. 1 minute and 55 remaining. Plenty of time left on the clock. Still a 5v5 match point for Ferocity. More drones coming in, but in the midst of that, it looks like Valkyrie was able to take out Buck on Cliche with a good roam game. She's underneath. Not like Pulse. Doesn't know where they're at, but could try to attempt a cheeky C4 from underneath there. More investing going into this pillbox. Santa doing the dance with Bonsai and JT here. Not sure what happened, what we missed, but someone got down inside of Archives, and I'm pretty sure I saw Habana put her Habana charge, so I think that Mira actually ran out and shot all of them somehow. But they do finally get it open. He doesn't realize Blackbeard has control of the middle locker window, and he gets the kill, but Moss gets the trade right back on Blackbeard from jumping out from ventilation window. And it's now a 4v3 in favor of Ferocity on their match point here on Border. In this best of 3, they did win map 1 on Oregon 5-3. 50 seconds left in this one. Bonsai getting the pick over to bring it back to 3-0. Now they do finally have control of this Armory wall. They're going to get inside to get the plant down. Finally going for the plant. We're going to look at him tripping with the silencers, and they don't even know where he's at. He gets 1, he gets 2. That's a double kill, but he gets taken down. But the damage has already been done. It's a 2v1 situation. JT is going to have to do something very big here. King Leo knows he's there. He baits it. They're going to pitch him from the front side and the back side. And just like that, Moss with the triple kill to secure their win and their first week win here, taking it 2-0 versus Paradox. Very good job, well done by them, and a 5-3 victory on both maps. Really like what I saw.
Yep, that was a very, very textbook roam coming out from Moss. She was able to get the buck. You know, then she all of a sudden ran around, got it, ran outside, got the Blackbeard. Great pickup there. Surprised there wasn't a Claymore on that window. Wow, look at that, Moss with 14. Definitely showing his impact player, just like I was saying.
Yeah, he
Mayhem
did a
not
good
really
job.
doing too much with the 2 and 7 there, but other than that, very, very good roam game. Not sure why we didn't see any countering coming out, but hopefully Paradox will be able to come back, take a look at this. Hey guys, we need to take care of those roamers.